Hey there and happy Wednesday. So today I was like, do I wear my stocking cap that I wore all day or do I come to you with super flat hair? So the flat hair won out. So I spent the majority of the day out at my farm place that I grew up helping my husband and I helped my mom cut down a ton of trees. I ran the big telehandler and put my husband in the bucket thing and lifted him up so that he could get all of the branches trimmed that needed to be trimmed before winter comes and makes a mess of her yard. So my mom's 85, still on the farm, and does really well with that. So it was nice to help her out, and it was kind of fun to work alongside my husband, and we actually worked really well today. Some of you might chime in, I don't work well with my husband. Some of you might work well with your husband. So we got branches trimmed and a good project done. Hi Wendy, hi Rosina, hi Lisa. So I told you this month I'm going to do half Christmas, half not. And after working all day, it's like, what does my brain like want to dig into? Because I didn't have a card planned when I got home, and about an hour ago I'm like, okay, I need to start pulling out some stuff. I don't know if any of you would just do that, but that's what I did for you guys tonight. And I decided I had so much fun with Christmas yesterday, I'm going to do Christmas again today for you guys. Hi there, Shelly. And I think it's because I'm so excited about paper. So shocker, I'm going to bring out more Christmas paper. You guys know me, I love my Christmas paper. Well, I love all the papers. Hi there, Fran. And so this is my card that I'm bringing to you here. I just love the warmth and the depth that the pine cones bring to projects, and I just get excited stamping them out and cutting them out because they always turn out so realistic looking and just add so much to the projects and such. So today you'll get to see me use these pine cones. They actually were from last year's mini catalog, and then they're in the annual catalog, but like I said, I never tire of using the pine cones. So I'm freshening them up with new paper. And so sometimes when I hear some of you say, oh, you know, I just don't need more of this, or I don't know if I need more of that. And sometimes I myself will go, I have a lot of this or that, but adding something new, like I love my pine cones, so adding new paper to it kind of freshens up everything. So I don't feel guilty about buying a new stamp set because I'm using what I had, and then yet I'm using new paper, and that'll get used up in no time at all because it's so pretty. Hi there, Julie. Hi, Priscilla. Good to see you guys on here. Let's see if I missed anybody else, but I think what I'm gonna do is, let's see, I was trying to see if I have, if I can see myself on here or not. I don't like to spend a lot of time. There I am messing around with the technical details that way. So, oh, and thank you, Jill. Yeah, so yesterday, just before I came live, I don't want to waste a lot of time, but you guys are worth it because I achieved something pretty big yesterday, and it wouldn't be done on my own. I always joke I could do it on my own because I buy a lot of stuff from Stampin' Up, but my sales, team leadership, team building, and such allowed me to be number 52 in the United States out of 41,201 demonstrators. And so I really wanted to crack 50. And a few months ago, Stampin' Up said, they contacted me and said that they wanted a headshot of me. And it was about that time that I changed my profile picture for this Facebook page and such. And I was trying to just not go over the top and hire any kind of professional, but just have my husband take a few shots, narrowed it down. That's how it went. And they said I was close. Well, sometimes you just kind of don't wish you even thought that you could have a chance, but yet it was exciting, and it made me have passion for serving you guys. And so, yes, thank you, Julie. And so yesterday, I just got the news, and I was like a little sad that I didn't get 50. And then I kind of became overwhelmed with, I'm 52 because of you guys. And so then the news was too fresh, and here I am. And so I didn't want to say anything because I knew this would happen, and now this is happening. So I am humbled, let's just say humbled beyond belief, because I just started because I thought, new mom, we didn't have a lot of money. I loved stamping and I wanted the discount, and 27 years later, here I am. So thank you so much for allowing me to continue to do what I love so many years later when we thought it would just be a passing fad. And sometimes people think, oh, those crazy crafters, thank you for being a crazy crafter with me. Now I will do my card. Otherwise I'll cry, you guys. So let me put down my iPad. And I will get my camera moved around. Thank you, Sherry. So yeah, and like I said, you guys, like every day, like today I worked really hard on my mom's farm, and yet it was like, okay, I could have just come home, put up my feet, taken a hot bath, but no, I want to do a card for you guys because you guys inspire me as much as you guys think I inspire you. Okay, so here is today's Christmas card, and I might do a little bit of changing up. You guys know me, if I make a card one way, I might want to change out things. Like I think I might add some red ribbon just so you can see the difference that red makes instead of green. I might actually push some of this stuff up a little bit. I kind of sometimes like because of how the pine cones just made the card cozy. Kind of wanted those nestled in the bottom, but I'm going to see what it looks like maybe in the middle. And I always like how you guys know that I love your feedback. So when you give me feedback, it's kind of fun to hear that too. And so I'm going to show something that didn't make it on the card too, so that you can go, I wonder what that would look like with it. And I tried it and didn't like it. Okay, so focus of the card is once again the pretty paper. So from the mini catalog here on page 25, and a lot of you guys love the Leaves of Holly bundle and this whole Boughs of Holly collection here. And so the paper, I thought, oh, that's so pretty. And I've used some of this before on that gift card holder. Was it last month or a couple months ago actually? And so I'm using this paper, so I'm not going to go through all of the papers in there, but if you see this from the gift card holder, you might go, oh yeah, that's that paper. So there are sheets that have big poinsettias and some that have small poinsettias. So if you get this card from me, you might get one with large, you might get one with small, and such based on what I send out. And then like I said, reverting back to the annual catalog, because that's such a gem that we can't forget about. On pages 44 and 45 are these awesome Christmas stamp sets, Christmas season and Christmas to remember. And I love the dies that go with it too. So I'm pulling those out as well. So that's from the annual catalog there. So I'm just using the 2 pine cones here. This one is stamped over top of that one, and then the smaller pine cones, this one stamps on top of that one. And then Christmas to remember, I'm using a couple sentiments from there, and I feel like this double set of stamps can do so much for your Christmas season, and I still love it. So yeah, and then so to start out, this is kind of my color combination, garden green with the pretty poinsettia paper here is called Boughs of Holly. So don't think it's pretty poinsettia paper. That's just what I'm calling it tonight. And garden green crumb cake, this white's just for the inside. So what I wanted to tell you though is usually I'll flip over the back side of my paper. Here we go. And it says, oh, let's see, what are the greens? Evening Evergreen. I'm like, I don't want to use Evening Evergreen. I just used that last night for you guys, or yesterday afternoon. Mossy Meadow, Old Olive. Those are my green choices. So I thought, okay, I eliminated Evening Evergreen, and then there's Mossy Meadow here and Old Olive. And so I went, oh, this is kind of interesting. Here, I need to remove one. Hi there, Cease. Good to see you on here. So I put this with this, and I'm like, I just didn't like that. Not that it's bad. I just didn't like it. And then I pulled out Mossy Meadow. Same thing, like this is pretty together, but it just wasn't like, ooh, ah. And then I pulled out, I thought, let's try garden green and see what that does, even though that wasn't even one of the colors mentioned. And I really liked the garden green. So I'm like, you know what? Those can be suggestions and they're very helpful, but I thought this is what I'm going to do. And then after I decided I really liked that best, the ribbon choices that I started to pull out to use, the ribbon pack is a 2-pack of Real Red and garden green. I'm like, oh, that is like so cool when the next layer of details after I've kind of got the card put together and plastered on, and I'm looking for those last finishing touches, which is the ribbon, that it is the color that I want it to be and not something that clashes. So I just wanted to pull those out because I feel like I haven't done a lot of the switching in and out that you guys might be used to. So my card-based garden green here is scored and folded this way. And then this pretty paper with the poinsettias from the Boughs of Holly is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to tack that down here like so, and then put that on there like that. And next we're going to work on these little pieces here that we're gonna stamp and cut out. So let me start, I think, with my pine cone. So I'm just taking a little scratch piece of paper of crumb cake, and then I'm going to get out my soft suede ink pad. So for the base, you want that to be lighter for your first stamp of the 2-step stamping. So I'm going to take the large pine cone and just, whoops, let me get out my Stampin' Pierce mat, because I love that when I'm using photopolymer stamp sets, and this one's photopolymer. So I'm going to ink that up in soft suede, and then the smaller one too in soft suede. I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to open up my darker ink, which is Early Espresso here, and you can do different color combinations with Sahara Sand, crumb cake. I've even seen some pink pine cones and Pool Party, and they look so pretty. So kind of same concept, bigger, smaller, and this just kind of adds more details. I'm going to stamp that right over top the larger pine cone, and look what that does instantly. It makes it look 3D. Hey there, Rachel, good to see you on here. Next, I'm going to take the smaller of the pine cones and do that same thing. Just stamp right on top to give that pine cone definition. Doesn't that just make it look like ooh-ah from like 1 second to the next? So that's ready to go. And then I'm just going to take some more garden green ink, and here's my sentiment from Christmas to Remember. And this says, may this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. And I'm just going to ink that up in the darker of the browns with the Early Espresso, and just stamp that like so, and set that aside. And because I didn't have big dies, I thought, you know what, let's get out the mini cut and emboss and show you guys that I do use that quite a bit. You can tell by my cutting pads that I do use it quite a bit. And so I'm just going to take, I think, the pine cones here first, and I'll just, whoops, line those up. And sometimes I have actually like stamped just the first layer, cut them out, and then done that top layer, but it really doesn't make any difference. Obviously you want to stamp first because it makes lining up very easy. Whoops, that one just moved a smear. There we go. Once I took off my plate, it lined itself back up. All right, so I'm gonna put these through with the mini cut and emboss machine here. Love it. All right, so I've got that and that. And actually, I'm going to bring them up to the camera too, just so you can see how fun that is. My lighting, maybe I need to bring that better here. Is there somewhere that Stampin' Up! Gives ideas on colors to use together for the 2-step stamping? That's a very good question. I feel like some Stampin' Up! Doesn't. Once in a while they have, and it's just by fluke, Lisa, and I'm glad you asked that. Sometimes, like last year when this whole suite of products came out, they put together like a video, a Stampin' Up! Video, and sometimes they will mention, you know, colors like that. Sometimes where I found this, sometimes almost by accident, is on Pinterest. If you plug in, you know, like a certain set or something, some demos have put together like a 8.5 by 11 chart, and they've stamped different combinations and put the color names next to it and have this whole nice color chart. So, so that's a great question. I'm so glad that that you have asked that. Hey there, Jerry. So yeah, sometimes like we don't want to waste our nice cardstock by putting together all these color combinations, or we don't want to lose out on a fun color combination because we were too scared to try something or whatever too. So yeah, it's just sometimes I run across things, and yet I haven't seen much for resources on that. I feel like that's where our demonstrator base shines, because I feel like there's a lot of demonstrators that put a lot of videos and card ideas out there, and they're so generous to share it with us on Pinterest and such too. All right, so one thing that I do love about these dies too, so you saw me use the 2 different sizes for the pine cones, and I usually show you this before I use the dies. Seasonal labels dies here, and as I open this up, I love that there's dies for greenery, dies for the holly berries, dies that if you use this as a tag or for your sentiment, these dies can be put on the sides of these big label dies, and you can string ribbon through them or make them like little hangers and tags and such like that, and more greenery and leaves there. So this is a really big set of dies, but I love that you can do the label images as well as like the pine cone images all in one set of dies. So great. All right, so we have that. And I always think this looks pretty dark. It's not black, it's early espresso, but always keep in mind when you're using inks on darker cardstock, it's going to make that ink appear pretty dark. But I love that it's not black because I think it just makes it look kind of cozy. So going back to my sample here, when it comes to ribbon then, this is the ribbon I chose, the Real Red and Garden Green 3/8 inch ribbon pack combo. So you'll get red and green in there. And like I said, I was so excited that this was garden green after I chose garden green cardstock and had most of the card assembled. So this time I'm going to take the Real Red and just see what I think of that on there. And if you guys want to chime in, you're not required to, but if you want to chime in, if you like the green or the red better, that's always kind of fun to hear your comments. So I'm just flipping over my sentiment here and just putting on some adhesive. And then what I do is I just take and kind of place that on top so that the ribbon sticks. And then I can kind of put it up and I just kind of wind it like that and across the back, and it's just gonna stick because I've got that adhesive on there like so. So it doesn't have to look pretty on the back. That's what it looks like on the back, but we want it to look pretty in the front. Take my ribbon cutting scissor here and just give it a snip at an angle. Then I'll go back to this and then add an angle. So, whoops, add an angle, Belle. Add an angle. There we go. And just get that kind of all situated. Now I'm going to flip this over and add some dimensionals. So it seems a little putsy, and I maybe did a little bit more with explaining and stuff, but I feel like I said, I haven't shown you things that did and didn't work, or, you know, different color things. And it's always fun to kind of give you my input on that. But assembly wise, the card doesn't take long. So like I said, I wanted to scoot this up just a little bit. So I'm going to put that more towards the center like so, versus down on this one. And then I'm going to just put a couple more dimensionals on the back of the pine cone. I'm going to put it more on one side for the larger one because it's going to kind of frame my sentiment, and I don't want it to be dimensional on top of dimensional and get it too puffy for our lovely mail system. So putting kind of my dimensionals on this side, then this can come along and frame it with the dimensionals here, and it's just going to lay on top there. And then these dimensionals here can go down here. So I kind of do like it set up a little bit. Hey there, Lois. Good to see you on here. So this is the difference with the green ribbon and down a little bit more on the card. And this is in the middle of the card a little bit more. I don't know. Actually, if I were to have a perfect world, I'd put my sentiment label a little bit in between this and that. So, and Lisa likes the green ribbon. That's good to know. I feel like it pops a little bit more because there's a lot of red on the designer series paper. So, and I feel like it just gives it a cozy feeling to match those pine cones. So the product that lost out that I didn't add are these. I got to get the name of them to make it exact. Gold holly leaves. I thought, oh, that could be kind of fun to add just a little bit of like a holly leaf in here, but the color, or not the color, the size just didn't warrant being used. It kind of was an awkward size for everything else going on. Like I couldn't tuck it anywhere. It was just too small compared to everything else being big. I thought about even adding that, but it was just like, it looked like it was just being added to be added. Added nothing to the card though, but I do want to add some more embellishments. What would a Christmas card be without something amazingly shiny or embossed or something? So I'm getting out my Wink of Stella. Oh, thanks, Maureen. Thanks for joining in. So I'm just going to go over my whole pine cone here. Gentle squeeze, gentle squeeze. I can't say that enough. You can always gently squeeze a little bit more, but if you squeeze too much, it looks like a mercury thermometer has exploded across your design, or it kind of gets a kind of a gross brown color that we don't like. So I don't know if the camera picks up the shimmer shine. I love this because you don't have to heat set it. It dries really fast, doesn't make a mess. Love that. And then of course we have the Festive Pearls. If you purchase these, I bought a whole bunch right away, and mine all say red and green adhesive back pearls. These are the Festive Pearls. So when you go to the mini catalog, these are called Festive Pearls. I forgot to look and see if they are back in stock or if they are still on back order. They've been really popular. Hopefully they're back in. So you get some red, you get some pool party, pretty silver, and gold, like just really shiny. So I'm going to put one of these kind of up on this side, and then one off to the side here, and then whoops, one off to the side there, like that, just to kind of, these, like I said, they're not sparkly because they're pearls, they're just really shiny. And so I thought that the shine really matched up with the shimmer shine that is on these pine cones there too. Hi Renee. And then just a quick finish here with the inside. So from that same Christmas to Remember stamp set, let me bring over the lighter of the two brown inks that I use, which will be Soft Suede. Love and joy come to you, and may it last the whole year through. I'm going to ink that up with the Soft Suede. And then with my my larger pine cone, I'm not going to re-ink it. I'm just going to huff on there, and that's going to just remoisten it. That's going to give a subtle pine cone image there. Same thing with this, with the early espresso, huff, and then that's going to just give it a nice subtle pine cone. And doesn't that just look gorgeous to have a subtle carry through from the front of the card to the inside of the card like that? So I'm gonna tack that down. And sometimes when I see these pine cones just like this almost looks like it could be its own card front. If you wanted a really simple card, you could almost do something like that and just deck it out a little bit more. So let me just put that in there, and then we have this. So I'm going to show you the other one too. So this is what we've got going, red or green ribbon, and then just kind of a different placement. Kind of feel like I like how these pine cones kind of anchor the sentiment a little bit more there. So that is what we have today for card number 2. So you guys, my nose is still running. I don't know if it's from being outside a lot today or you guys congratulating me on my 52nd place. Usually 52nd place, my husband would be like, nobody remembers 2, but he's even pretty excited about 52. It's not even that I'm at that age yet, but he's excited about 52. Hi there, Sue. Thank you, Francis. Yeah, that was really fun to put together. I just love, like I said, those pine cones. So sometimes I have put together cards, and I'll be honest, like when I remake the cards to send out to you guys, there are favorites that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to make more of them for you. And this is going to be one of those cards that I like, oh, I can't wait to sit down and make a whole stack of these to send out to you guys. So thanks so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow. So thank you, Pam. I do love doing the insides. I don't like to go over the top, but I just love having something subtle and, like you say, like a carry over that makes it look like a little bit of effort was spent, but not the whole day type of effort. So I'll be back with you guys tomorrow afternoon. See you then. Have a great night. Bye-bye.